So we've made it to the final 40 days, but let's be honest, everything before this was child's play compared to what's coming next. From here on out, I've got 3 goals: explore the newest biomes, finish my village, and take down the Ender Dragon once and for all. Can we do it? Probably not, but we're gonna try. And these next few days, they're what decide everything. So buckle up, because it only gets crazier from here. All right, new day, new goal. I woke up and I decided it's time to finally get mending. I have a simple plan. Build a lectern, grab a villager, and start trading. Right? Wrong. These villagers refuse to cooperate with me. I tried putting them in the same boat. I threw bread at them, carrots, potatoes. I basically fed them a full course meal, but nothing worked. By nightfall, I crafted a bunch of beds and doors, since that apparently helps. So yeah, this entire day was me trying to be a matchmaker. Morning rolls around, and they still don't want to do anything. So I finally trapped them in the same house. Yep, we're at that point. But it finally worked. We got a baby villager. It took 10 beds, but we did it. After that, I built a few more lecterns to get ready for more trades in the future, and I used some iron to spawn an iron golem so my villagers don't completely vanish after all the work I've put into it. After that, I went down and started mining, and it felt good to finally have some progress done, and then my pickaxe broke. Today I wanted to switch things up and start focusing a little bit on my house again. I feel like it's been sitting unfinished for way too long, so I stripped the logs on it to give it a smoother look. Then I crafted a new set of diamond tools and armor. Not to wear yet. I want to enchant these later so I can have a brand new set of gear. And for that, I spent the night at the zombie spawner grinding XP. But back to business. The goal today is to finally get mending. So I sat there destroying and replacing lectors over and over and over again. What felt like hours later, we got it. The mending book. Finally. I didn't waste a second. I crafted my gear, got my trades ready, and then decided to head into the nether. And while mining in the nether, I actually found a nether fortress. But before I could go inside, my pickaxe breaks. So I crafted 3 new ones, and I made a plan that I wouldn't come up until they all broke. So I had spent the entire night underground, and my last pickaxe finally broke, so I came back to the surface. I used the diamonds I found to make the last armor piece that I was finally missing, a helmet. So after that, I just started to start cleaning things up in the village. I replaced all the exposed sand with dirt, I built a few lampposts, and honestly, it's starting to feel like an actual town. The village was finally coming together, but it still felt kind of empty, so today I wanted to make it feel more alive. I placed job stations everywhere, composters, smithing tables, lectors. I tossed a few carrots at them to try to keep the population growing, and I planted a couple of trees to fill in the space around it. Future me here. It is currently 3:30 a.m., so I'm sorry if I sound tired, but I forgot to mention on this day that I finished my mining house. So I wanted to come back and mention that while editing this video. But then, as usual, I end up spending the night grinding XP at the zombie farm. Honestly, this place is more of a house than my actual house is. There is one part of the world that I haven't explored yet, the deep dark layers. I figured it was time to change that, so I dug down to the deep slate level, hoping to find something cool. I didn't get much. I found a little bit of gold, some iron. I found a glow squid, which is cool, I guess. But being down here overall wasn't really worth it, because I still get diamonds at Y level 12 because my world is older. One good thing that came from deep slate mining is I can now build with these blocks. And I have a build that I think will look amazing in this world. So I wake up and immediately get attacked by a baby zombie and it catches me on fire. But after I deal with that, I walk across my bridge and I hear Bongo growling, and there is a skeleton nearby, and I remember dogs can now attack skeletons, so I let him go ham on him. But after that, I decided I have an idea for a really big project, so I started it. but I ran out of dark oak halfway through. But we're building an enchantment house for my little enchanter because I'm tired of it sitting outside all day. So I cut down more trees and worked until nightfall. Then called it a day. On the last day of 1.18, I wanted to go out on a strong note. I spent the day finishing up the enchantment house. I got the windows done, I connected a path to it, and I started working on the roof. I did run out of deep slate, but I'll get more next time. It's not perfect, but it's the perfect way to end this chapter, because tomorrow, everything changes. New update, new world generation, new adventure. So I had this weird idea. What if I could travel farther into the world by walking less? That's when I realized the nether roof could be my shortcut. So I bought 2 ender pearls, dug all the way up to the nether roof, and after a couple of risky throws, boom, I'm on top. It's empty, it's eerie, and it's honestly kind of weird. I built a quick portal to mark the spot because this is where I'll reach every new biome that refuses to spawn near me. After that, I dug underneath my small bridge just to make it look a little bit deeper, then ended the day. Today was mostly upkeep, trading with the mending villager, stacking emeralds, making sure his trades locked before I update the world again, but I couldn't stop thinking about the roof. So I went back, tore down the first portal, and built a new one out of cobblestone so I wouldn't lose track of where I came from. Then I ran 10, maybe 20 minutes straight just to see how far I could get. When I finally stepped through the new portal, I'm deep underground, like deep slate level deep. I have no clue where I am, no map, just darkness. So I spend most of the day digging upwards, hoping I'm not 100 blocks away, of course. It is times like these I really wish I had a minimap mod so I could see how far I am and get an idea of how far I have to walk. But for now, looking at my coordinates is gonna have to do. When I finally reach the surface, I pop out into a frozen ocean biome. It's kind of cool, literally, but it's not what I'm after. So after a little bit of swimming, I grab some wood and keep moving. And then out of nowhere, I find a mushroom island. No hostile mobs, total peace, it's perfect. Maybe I'll set up here later. I went back and set up my little portal area, cleaned it up, made it look nice. marked my spot with a pillar, and as night fell, I started heading back. The journey home wasn't gonna be easy. The first thing I hit was a dark forest, then a bamboo jungle, there's a ruined portal, a jungle temple, and I even saw a panda just vibing in the middle of nowhere. Every few hundred blocks, it's like a new world. Badlands, coral reefs, everything I never seen near home. At this point, I'm just taking it all in. I found a shipwreck, then another, then some ocean ruins on the surface, which I don't think I've ever seen in a playthrough. One chest gives me a treasure map, so naturally, I go hunting for it. What felt like hours later, still nothing. The sun is starting to set, I'm starving, and all I have to eat is rotten flesh. Of course, this is the situation I'm in. Thankfully, I found a few cows. This is lovely. These cows are life-saving. I try to lead them back with some wheat, but once I hit the mountains, I realize it's not worth the effort. So I move on, climb over the peaks, and after all that wandering and continuously looking at my coordinates, I finally made it home. Back in the village, I plant some of the bamboo I found behind the village houses. It's gonna look really cool once it all grows. Then I trade clay with my stonecutter villager. The guy's a money printer with how fast he gives emeralds. After that, I finally craft a blast furnace to speed things up. Today's a pretty simple day. Lots of clay farming, trading, smelting. I made like 4 shovels and went all in on emerald grinding. Not the most exciting day, but it's progress. On the last day of Minecraft 1.19, I smelted a ton of stone, finished some trades, chopped wood, bought my final mending book, and that's it, because now the real grind begins. The last 20 days are where everything changes. There's a lot to do and no time to waste. 1.20 is next, and I had one goal: to grow my village bigger than ever. So I started small, smelting stone for some trades, but halfway through, I realized something. If I want this place to actually feel more alive, I need more villagers. So I started working on a new building. Nothing crazy, just a spot packed with beds where new villagers could finally move in. But this one change could make a huge difference. To get it done, I chopped trees, mined for deep slate, and built block by block until the frames started to take shape. By the time I placed the doors, the moon was already up, and for once, my village finally felt like it was growing bigger. The day started with a peaceful sound of chopping down trees until a witch hit me with poison. I panicked immediately, then ran for my life, barely surviving. But I had an idea. So while I recovered from the poison, I decided it was time to fill my hotel with beds, finish the walls, and start on the roof. I ran back and forth between the trees to get a lot of wood to finish building the house. I eventually got to the point where I realized my chests were overflowing with garbage, so I built a literal trash pit out of lava. It felt good to finally toss away all the trash that had been building up in my chest. I ended the night by trying to enchant my new diamond sword, only to realize I'd burned up all my XP. Of course. XP problem or not, I wasn't wasting another day at the spawner. I traded all my rotten flesh, cleared up my inventory, and prepped for what was to come. It was time to head back into the nether. I ran through the fortress until I found a blaze spawner. I waited until they started spawning in. I eventually got overrun by them and fought until I had enough rods to help me find what was coming next. Back home, I crafted blaze powder, bought some pearls, and made Eyes of Ender. The portal hunt was coming next. I tried to enchant again, still short on XP, but there was no turning back now. No grinding today, no distractions, just me, the sky, the ocean, and the path to the end. But of course, I was too stubborn to use a boat. I swam halfway there, and eventually, everything went wrong. Zombies, skeletons, creepers, all closing in on me at once as I'm trying to get on land. It was kind of chaos everywhere right now, but when I finally reached land, I had gotten away from everything. I found a cherry blossom forest right over here. I cut a few logs down to take home, not because I needed them, but because I like the idea of bringing things from my adventures to showcase my journey so far. After throwing Eyes of Ender for most of the day, watching them drift until suddenly one turns back. This is it. The stronghold is finally beneath me. I dig straight down and I hit a mine shaft. Close, but it's not exactly what I'm looking for. I go a few more blocks down and then stone bricks are right underneath me. I found the stronghold. And of course, it's crawling with zombies. I was kind of lucky finding the portal room because it was really close by once I got down there. The portal was also basically empty. Only one eye was in it. I guess I wasn't one of the lucky people to get a completely filled portal off the rip. So I placed what I have and then decided it's time to head back home and prepare. Before leaving, I built a pillar tall enough to see from anywhere, so I'll never lose this spot. On my way back though, something catches my eye. I'll come back to this later because I'll be using it in the last 10 days, so I lock in the coordinates, then continue my journey home. Back home, I craft a few fletchling tables for the hotel, enchant a bow, and plant the cherry saplings all across my land. After everything, the village feels calm, like everything has finally come together. Today was kind of slow. I repair my iron golems, connect a new path to the hotel, and finally finish the roof of my enchantment house. For the first time in a while, everything feels good, like the base is almost ready for what's next. The rhythm of building has kind of become peaceful. I seal up the roof, finish the lighting in the hotel, and connect every path across my land into one big circle. For a second, I just stop to look around, and everything is finally connected. Now it's about safety. I started on the outer wall, not just for mobs, but for what's coming. Every block feels like I'm protecting myself from what's next. If I've learned anything so far, it's that peace never lasts long in this world. The last day of 1.20, I'm still out there stacking stone, building it as high as I can for now. It's not the explosive ending I imagined, but maybe that's what makes it matter. The world's quiet right now, because from here on out, there are only 10 days left. Whatever happens next isn't up to me anymore. This is it. The final stretch. 10 days left to finish everything I started. Day 91 kicks off simple. Organizing stone, smelting, cleaning up the mess, you know? The usual prep before chaos. But chaos doesn't wait, because when I head into the nether, I find one of my villagers just chilling there. Like, bro, how did you even get here? So now my day turns into a rescue mission, dragging this guy all the way back home, through all the mobs and all this netherrack. It took forever, but I got him back. Safe, annoyed, but home. On day 92, I started back on the wall. It's finally starting to look like something. I spent most of today stacking it higher, burning through stone like crazy. I was starting to run low on food, so I decided I would go take some more food from the sheep pen. Then I find a villager who trades sticks for emeralds. Best deal of my life. After that, I started decorating some of the lamps that I have around, and I was just vibing. And for the end of the day, I was just watching the glow spread across my village. It was peaceful and it was nice. But today we're picking a fight. If I want the best trades before the final battle, I need Hero of the Village. So we travel far until we find the Pillager outpost. The plan is simple. Find a Pillager captain, get Bad Omen, start a raid back home. I clear the whole outpost, arrows flying everywhere, but no captain. Luckily, Pillagers respawn forever, so I wait and wait, because patience apparently is the new boss fight, and I'm the most impatient person out here. Finally, after a full night of waiting it out, we got it, the ominous potion. So I spent half the day boating home just hoping it's worth the trouble. First thing I do when I get back is build another iron golem. Gotta keep the place protected because things are about to get messy. After that, I drink the potion, and now it's just a waiting game for the raid to start. The raid finally begins. At first, it's pretty calm. A few waves here and there, nothing crazy. I'm running along the wall trying to spot where they're spawning, taking them out as they come. Then the Ravagers show up, along with a couple of witches, and suddenly, it's a bit more than I bargained for. Still, I keep at it, clearing wave after wave through the night. It's long, but manageable. Day 96, and somehow this raid is still going. This time there's Vexes flying around and Evokers spawning in, so yeah, it got a little more complicated. The good news is they dropped Totems of Undying, which is perfect for what's coming next. One of the Evokers even showed up on a Ravager, which is kind of wild to see. We had a few close calls, but I made it through, and the raid continued into the night. But as the sun of the next day starts coming up, the last pillager finally goes down. So finally, Hero of the Village, the villagers start celebrating, fireworks go off. It's a good feeling. I run around checking all the new trades, and man, the discounts are actually so solid. So I trade a bunch of sticks for emeralds, stock up on ender pearls, and spent the rest of the day getting ready. I start enchanting the last of my armor and tools, because after all this, tomorrow's the big one. Today's all about preparation. Golden apples, crafted. Armor, enchanted. Water bucket, packed, because I know I'm getting launched into the sky at least once. I double check my totems, make one last run through the village, and look around, because this might be my last day here. It's time I grab my gear, hop in the boat, and start the journey to the stronghold. When I finally find it, I place the Eyes of Ender one by one, until the portal roars to life, and I jump in. The end. Literally. The dragon's waiting, and this is where everything comes full circle. I destroy every crystal, nearly die multiple times, beds explode in the dragon's face, I get launched in the air, clutch every time, then with one last swing, the dragon finally goes down, and we beat Minecraft. Day 100, no more fighting, no more walls, just me and the world I built. I spend the day organizing, enchanting, chopping trees, the same way I started. The game has now come full circle, and as the sun sets, I take one last walk around the base, the farms, the villagers, the wall that almost drove me insane, and for a second, it's quiet. 100 days later, we actually made it. If you made it this far, I just want to thank you for watching. Keep an eye out for the full movie because I'll be uploading the full 100 days in the next week or so. But if you don't want to miss any of the videos I have coming up, press the subscribe button and that little bell next to it to never miss an upload. It would really mean a lot to me as a small creator.